I actually tried to not have profiling in the world.
This could be the cold open to the episode. We're just talking about
skateboard profiling.
Yeah. No, we don't need to do this.
Okay. But we are recording now, so.
We are?
Yes, we are.
I didn't give my permission. To be honest, I needed to sign a waiver.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never gotten your permission to record any of these episodes, so that's...
Wait, you've been recording these?
Wait, yeah, they're on the internet, yeah.
I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue the shit out of you.
I mean, why do you think we were welcoming people back to this is a terrible place to live if we weren't putting them on the internet?
this was a bit. I thought we were doing like a bit. Like, what if we had a podcast? That's what we'd say, like, if we did. Like this was a joke. Like every month we get together and we do this joke for an hour.
Why do you think I have so much recording equipment?
I thought you were just really into this bit. I thought this was like your favorite joke. Like,
I mean,
you think it's very funny.
I have invested a lot into this joke.
You think it's worth many dollars?
Many dollars, yes.
I was going to say a number, but then I realized I don't know how much this costs. I was going to say hundreds, but then I was like, it could be over 100.
Around $500.
Okay.
If we count the recorder that you have as well.
Man, you're really invested.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, this is a $500 joke.
I mean, it would be worth that much if I had convinced you that we were doing a podcast and we weren't, and it was a joke like that.
That would be great.
So fucking funny. Especially if I had actually recorded everything and just had it sitting there.
Yeah, and wait, that's not what you did?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
It would have been better though.
Yeah, it would have.
But then I don't think we would have had your friends on.
No, they could be in on it.
True.
This is all just a big prank on me. Anyway, I guess that's the beginning of the episode now.
So this is a different sort of type of media than we've done. We've done an album. We've done movies mostly since then. We
have not done a TV show, which we need to, but it's daunting.
Yeah, we should, but also
yeah, it's
because picking a show is not only like, do we want to pick a show that we both have seen already and like? Because that'd be pretty easy, but then would we need to watch it again to refresh ourselves?
Yeah.
I mean, we have talked about shows in the past, but not since the updated format.
Since it became David gets John to watch things.
Yeah. Which honestly is a pretty good format for me, because without that, I wouldn't watch a lot of things. Although I am watching What We Do in the Shadows, which is a good show. So,
what do we do in the shadows?
Vampiric stuff.
Oh.
It's on Hulu.
I don't think I do that in the shadows. Maybe that's what you do in the shadows.
Yeah.
I think you should stop saying what we do in the shadows. Make it what I do in the shadows. I've been watching What I Do in the Shadows.
My songs know what you did in the shadows.
They do?
It's a Fall Out Boy
told
reference.
them? No, I know.
Okay. You just look so confused. I was like, wait, what?
Wow, you ruined the bit too. I was committed.
I'm sorry. It's my fault. It's always my fault. Okay.
Yeah, it is. We were supposed to be doing a bit this entire time. This like, has it been 2 years we've been doing this? I thought this was a 2-year monthly bit. I'd do that too. You know I would.
Yeah, that's, yeah. If you had kept a straight face when you had suggested it, I might have actually believed you. But
that I thought this was a bit?
Yeah.
What?
Except for
you would have believed that?
Except for the fact that I know that you already know that we have this online. So, like.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have pulled it off, is what I'm saying.
You think I could have fooled?
Like if you had actually tried to do this as a bit.
I didn't think that I could fool you into thinking that. I would have if I'd known. Had you told me ahead of time, I would have tried.
Had I told you ahead of time that you could fool me into thinking this was a
Yeah. If you said, "Hey, David, just a heads up, if you want to trick me, I'd be very open to this trick." I'd believe that in an instant. This is a strong start. Anyway, next time, give me warning. If there's something that you think I could fool you on, just tell me.
Okay. God damn it. Anyway, this one is different because it's a comedy special. It's Daniel Sloss's X.
Because it's his 10th one.
Ah, okay, cool. I did not know that.
Only 3 of them have been on streaming services, but he's done 10.
Okay, I was confused because I thought it was his 3rd one, but that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, David, you suggested this. And
we didn't introduce the show. Welcome back. This is a terrible place to live, and I am David, the last bastion of professionalism in this podcast.
And I'm John. You could probably dupe me into doing a podcast with you as a bit, and I'd probably think it was real.
That's not what the bit was, John. The bit was that I was the one being duped.
That's not how that works.
What's going on? Wait, were we both being duped?
What I was saying is you could have fooled me into thinking that you thought this was fake.
We should just discuss this the whole episode. Just,
I mean, there's too many turns to the thoughts going on in my head for me to explain to you exactly what I thought.
Okay.
You thought I thought could be thought if we thought it.
But how much wood did they chuck?
9.
Ooh, that's... Well, I've seen better, to be honest.
Yeah.
Step it up, woodchuck. More like wood fuck. That sounded like I would fuck the woodchuck, which I would not, to be clear.
Yeah, I would hope not.
I was calling the woodchuck a fuck, and I said would fuck, but then it sounds like I would fuck it.
I got the joke.
But I just want to make it painfully obvious to everyone listening, I wouldn't have sex with a woodchuck. Now this could be like, now it sounds like I would, and I'm really trying to sell you that I wouldn't. Like the whole thing where Shane Dawson was talking about how he didn't
fuck his cat or whatever.
Yeah.
Joy.
I've never had sex anywhere near my cat. Or my woodchuck. Why do I have a pet woodchuck?
I feel like there's someone on TikTok with a pet woodchuck. There's someone on TikTok with a pet whatever animal you can imagine.
Are woodchucks real? What is a woodchuck?
I saw one in a Geico commercial once. So maybe?
Do you think the Geico gecko is real, John?
Geckos are real, David. Have you never seen a gecko?
I haven't seen one that stands up on its hind legs and tries to sell me insurance.
That's fair. The Geico gecko must be part prairie dog.
Was the woodchuck also in on like the insurance thing?
I don't really remember how it tied into woodchucks. I just remember that there's an ad with woodchucks.
Were they both there? Was the woodchuck and the gecko there, or was it like?
No, it was kind of like you know when they have the the money you could be saving with Geico or
Oh yeah. Those ones are better than the gecko ones.
Right, yeah. Those ones, they don't have the gecko. It was one of those. But it wasn't money you could be saving with Geico. It was just woodchucks.
To our international listeners, sorry that we're talking about American commercials.
Do people from other countries not know about Geico commercials?
I don't think they get them because I think Geico is just an American company. Although the gecko's not from here. So maybe they have them elsewhere. Where is the gecko from? What is his accent? It's hard to place.
I mean, is it South African?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. This is really not on the topic.
Fine. I guess we'll go back to talking about what we
Mr. Last Bastion of professionalism on this podcast.
We were getting good content, though. I wasn't going to cut it off.
I don't know what else to say about the Geico gecko's accent.
We got to know where he's from.
Should I Google it?
He's coming here, stealing American jobs. We'll call eyes on the Geico gecko.
It just says he's voiced by English actors.
Imagine that being like your big credit, where people are like, "Oh, what do you do?" And you're like, "I'm an actor." And they're like, "What? Have you done anything that I've heard of?" I'm the Geico gecko.
His name is Jake Wood.
Shout out to Jake Wood.
He woodchuck would.
More like Jake Wood. Wait, he's Jake from Geico. There's a Jake from State Farm. Anyway.
Well.
Sadly, we aren't here to discuss insurance commercials.
We should do an episode. We should do that. We'll rate them, yeah.
Oh, we'll watch them all on our scale, and we'll rate them on our scale as whether it's
worth watching.
You should watch this commercial. I guess we have to buy the product to say as well.
God, I'm not buying insurance for.
You wouldn't buy insurance for the bit?
No. Do you know how much pain it is to go through the process of buying insurance?
You wouldn't buy insurance for our fake podcast, John? Just commitment to the bit.
No, I would not. I would not buy insurance for a real podcast either, David.
Oh, yeah, it's real. I'm suing you. I forgot.
Yeah, don't forget that you're suing me.
Why am I still doing this? Why am I still here?
Yeah, I think Daniel also wanted to sue me.
Did he?
For recording his face, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You've got the lawsuits piling up.
It's a good thing I'm starting another podcast.
Whoa, hey. Is this one also a bit?
I mean, it could be. I'm not the one who came up with it, so.
Ooh, maybe you're getting got this time.
Yeah, by Natalie and Zion sounds like a real get.
Get got.
Get got.
Get it. Chew. That was a visual joke, and I apologize to our listeners.
So I don't really know what to talk about when it comes to his stand-up. When you suggested it, I was a little bit like, what are we going to talk about? And then I watched it and I realized I actually know half of the jokes from TikTok.
Oh, people stealing them?
People stealing them or using them as a sound for their own jokes on top of the jokes that already exist. I'd heard the last 20 minutes of it.
Oh, wow.
In some form or another, with people sharing it as people were calling it a TED Talk, which it is not.
He calls it that.
I know
briefly,
he does.
As a joke.
I know
though.
he does.
Yeah.
But it's a joke when he says it, and other people are saying this is a TED Talk about sexual assault. And it's like, okay, well, That was a lie. I just didn't realize it was Daniel Sloss because
Yeah.
it was just people stealing the audio.
Although he has done a TED Talk.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it.
It was much earlier in his career, and he's talked about how he hates watching it because he looks very uncomfortable because he doesn't get to tell jokes as much.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
Um,
I will say I feel like I would have found it funnier had I not already known a large number of the jokes punchlines.
mhm.
However, that doesn't detract from the jokes. It like being good. It's just
Mhm.
an interesting thing to me. I've never had that experience of going to watch something from a comedian or anybody that like I like and I follow and finding out that I already know some of this stuff and didn't realize it was theirs.
Mhm.
It's just weird.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of that on TikTok as well. Just like stolen stand-up bits.
Yeah, I try to steer clear from liking stand-up bits on TikTok because they're usually stolen and they're not usually like TikTok has a lot of stealing in general, but usually if it's like another TikTok joke, I'm okay with it because that's like what the app is for. I'm not a huge fan of people that just upload stand-up bits.
Well, like sometimes there'll be the comedian's account and then they'll upload their own stuff, which I like.
Yeah, I don't mind that too much. But I try to avoid liking it because it gets you more videos and then you just get like stolen.
Oh, I'm well into stand-up TikTok at this point.
Oh yeah.
I follow the Melbourne Comedy Festival on TikTok.
Fun times.
I know.
I have seen some stuff from them, but I don't follow them.
Anyway. Yeah, well, I'd watched it initially when it came out because I was very excited for it, as he is my favorite. And I think this is his best one. I think it's so good. I don't know. I like his style more than really anyone else's that I've ever seen. It's just very, very good stuff. And we'll talk about more things in depth later on. But overall, I think, and I've watched it many times now at this point, and the jokes hold up. Very good. That's my opening statement on it. Very good. Well done, Daniel. Not you, Daniel. The other Dan. Not our listener, Daniel. You didn't do anything.
You don't get a congratulations.
Go cry in the corner.
That's right.
You little Irish boy.
Go cry into the sleeves of your cardigan.
Yeah, you leprechaun.
I think it's interesting that you think this one's his best one. I didn't think it was quite as good as the one about his sister. I like that one a lot more.
Okay.
Because it felt more personal. This one felt to me like all of his jokes he was a little on edge about.
Yes.
For good reason.
Yeah.
But like part of his charm in the other one is that he is not on edge and he is mad at you for thinking he should be. And then he comes into this one and he's very clearly much more on edge about it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with him being on edge. Like I understand.
Yeah.
But it also
it's
just
a difficult discussion.
It's also just a little bit awkward, which makes it a little bit harder to not just to laugh because you feel uncomfortable, but it makes it a little bit harder for me to find it funny.
I think some of that comes from, and like I listened to his podcast as well, and he talks about like when he was on tour with this show, like having been touring it for so long because he'd just become pretty successful at that point, because his other two shows had come out, and just like how difficult it is to talk about and to have to talk about it every single night. It got to the point where he was just like super unhappy. And every like show he'd go up just as drunk as he could be without it showing, you know? And just like Like, and you can listen to the episodes when he was on tour as well, and it's insane, just like how angry he is, all the time. And I think that does show some, Hello, we're bringing back the ASMR podcast bit. We're doing it. Leave it in, John. Fuck you. I thought you were about to say fuck yeah.
No. I don't even remember what you were saying at this point. Talking about him being mad on tour or something. Why are you still doing this bit, David?
I'm gonna derail this podcast. What's the last thing I do? Yeah. This is so funny. Our listeners love it.
It's mostly breath, David. It's mostly your breath.
It's their favorite bit. I've received letters telling me more of this. More, please.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Okay. What were you saying?
Have fun editing that.
Yeah.
Have fun listening to that again for a while. He was talking about just like how deeply unhappy he was touring this. And I do think it does show some in the show, And like it would be weird to be like, oh fuck yeah, that was great, talking about that every night for months on end.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there's something weird about it to me, that especially with the three punchlines that are his friends' jokes, where I didn't find them all that funny. I didn't think they were funny jokes. They just sounded like the kind of jokes that my friends make to me about their own lives. Maybe less extreme circumstances, but they weren't all that, like it came across as a coping mechanism. And I didn't think they were particularly funny. So it was a little bit weird that was like the buildup for the comedy routine. Like I would have understood including them, but I didn't fully feel like they fit the place that they had in the routine.
Okay, so like, and like the structure of a comedy special, it wasn't like the finale joke,
Yeah, like I understand why they were at the end, because it was dark.
Yeah.
And they needed
that
to
was
be
his other special, John.
What?
Dark.
Oh, dark, yeah. I understood that they needed to be with that tonal shift, they needed to go with that. I just felt like it had a weird, at least as far as like the humor went, it had a weird arc of somehow being funnier at the very beginning than it was at the end.
Well, the thing is, like, it would have been weird if he'd gone back to like talking about something else. He was like, anyway, dicks, haha.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand the structure. It was just, it just felt odd. The whole thing was a little bit weird, which is like, admittedly his point. Like that's the point of all of his stuff, is it takes this different form from what comedy normally does. But it's just, it just made it feel very uncomfortable is not the right word, because you can be uncomfortable in a like a good way, where it's like, yes, this is an uncomfortable topic and it's important, which there was some of that, but it was also just like, I don't know, unsatisfying as far as like watching a comedy routine.
Well, see, I think a lot of the comedians that I really like at this point, I don't necessarily like go into it expecting it to be just a straight comedy routine, because I think that's a lot easier to do. You know, a lot of people could do that. So like my favorite ones now end up being like the ones where it's just a really good storyteller who they have lots of good jokes in there, right? They're very funny people. But there's a point to what they're saying, and there's, you know, something else going on there. For instance, Hannah Gadsby, both of her specials, Mike Birbiglia's special, the new one about like having a kid and stuff, and his journey as far as that. Whitmer Thomas's special, which is also like half documentary, and like part concert. That one's really interesting, and the way that he blends things. And I don't really normally like the ones where it's like, oh, this is also a documentary, and then like they cut back and forth from stand up and documentary shit, because it's like, okay, this is just ruining the pace of everything that's going on. But I think all of those, I think it's a movement that's happening like within comedy, like shifting more towards serious discussion and topics within comedy, and still being able to deliver punchlines within that.
Yeah, I definitely like the storyteller aspect of stand up that you're talking about. When it's someone who can just tell a really good story and be funny while doing it. I do really like that. I'm curious, did you ever watch This Is Not Happening with Ari Shaffir?
I did not know.
Okay, so that was I think it was weekly, and they had guest comedians come to a strip club and tell stories, true stories, that didn't necessarily have punchlines. They were just funny stories, usually involving drugs. And some of them, they were just funny stories. A lot of them got really, really dark and emotional in points.
Yeah.
And I really liked the way that a lot of those comedians handled that, where they would be telling a story that was about something that happened to them that was not necessarily great or wonderful, or something that they would look back on fondly. And they were able to make it funny and give reason to why they look back on it that way. Whereas I feel like with X, because it's not his story, he has this like trepidation around telling the story. It feels like he doesn't believe he should be telling the story.
Well, yeah, understandably, but like he's the one who has the platform and he's trying to use it, you know?
Yeah. No, I understand. It's just a weird, like, I don't know, feeling it gives off.
Yeah.
Throughout the last maybe 30 minutes.
His sad TED Talk portion of the show.
Yeah, the sad TED Talk.
I will admit that I didn't fully think about how to discuss a stand-up special the way that we would a movie before suggesting this episode, because we can't really do like a plot synopsis. Yeah, and then he tells this joke. We just repeat his entire special.
We spend 4 hours dissecting is it even 2 hours?
It's like an hour and a half.
Like, yeah, okay. So like, yeah. Although, I mean, we have spent 3 hours talking about a 2-hour movie before, so.
Have we? Which one was that?
That was
it Dead Poets Society?
I think it was Homeless for the Holidays.
Oh, yeah. We spent a long time on that.
I don't think it was quite 3 hours, but we spent like twice the length of the movie talking about it.
We were homeless for quite a while.
Yeah.
Even though this is a terrible place to live.
Well, that's why we were homeless.
Oh. Because we didn't want to live here anymore.
This was a terrible place.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
We hate it here. I think I think we've gotten a little bit off our train of thought here.
Yeah. What was the train of thought?
I don't know.
Oh, we were talking about how we talk about a comedy special.
Thank you. That was a classic David Zinger about Amtrak.
About Amtrak's.
I was talking about this the other day. I'm fully going to this tangent now because it was interesting, and I thought this is how we discuss a comedy special. We just get sidetracked all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And then at the end we rate it. We go,
I mean, that's fair. What else are you supposed to do? Like we've talked more about it than I thought we'd be able to. So
no, we're gonna talk about it more.
I'm sure we will.
Anyway. Because now I work at a place. No, I told you about this. We were talking about this. Anyway, we'll talk about it again on the podcast because they haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have no idea what you're about to say.
I work at a place where we got planes now, right?
Yeah.
We got the planes. And we go, you gotta be pretty rich to own a plane, right?
Yeah.
How rich do you have to be to own a train?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were talking about this.
That's
we
like
ever
the
figure
biggest
that out?
flex, right? Because you can own a Bentley or something, right?
Right.
Owning a train, bigger flex.
I mean, you can own a boat. Is owning a train a bigger flex?
Yeah. I think it's a bit, well, okay, it depends on the size of the boat.
Fair
If you've got like an aircraft carrier, fuck. That's insane. Ooh,
so
you've got your private planes on your private aircraft carrier? And it takes you to your private train station.
So the question is, did you ever look up how much a train costs?
Hang on, I'll do it right now. Where do you buy a train? Do you go to the train dealership? Where do you do it?
Like museums, train museums exist, right? So you can buy a train.
They have to have bought them.
So then the question is, how much does a train cost?
We'll find out. No, not how much does a train conductor make. The train conductor's the train owner's bitch.
Train cars can cost anywhere from $2,000 for an old boxcar all the way up to a few million for a brand new locomotive.
Okay.
So they're probably around the same as planes?
Well, so the cars though, right?
Right. So per car. So if you have like a full train, you could potentially have hundreds of millions of dollars train.
But how much does the engine cost? Because you can have a train that's not going anywhere though.
Right. So how much does a train engine cost?
And then we got to have a caboose. What is the caboose for? I don't know, but we need one. We got to have it.
A diesel locomotive could cost anywhere from $500,000 to $2 million, while an electric locomotive could cost more than $6 million.
Okay.
Does not say anything about steam engines.
It is cheaper than a plane. Well, depending on the plane.
Right, depending on the plane.
Because there's like Gulfstreams, they'll be like 75 million. So you could get a big train for that.
Yeah. $6 million for an engine and anywhere from 2,000 to a couple million.
2,000 cars. You know, like
yeah,
how you do.
So what we're saying is we could buy a train car.
Yeah.
And live in it.
Should we buy a train car? We could be the Boxcar Podcast.
We could have the podcast in a train car.
We could be the Boxcar Children.
No.
Boxcar Adults.
Yeah.
That sounds like the porn parody of the Boxcar Children.
No. God, no. No. Where would we put it though? Could we, do you think, can we legally put it in like a trailer park?
A boxcar?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. How much does it cost to use railroads?
Well, if it's just a boxcar, we can't use a railroad. It doesn't have an engine to pull
we're
it.
just chilling here.
And they'll be like, get off the tracks. You're going to die. There's a train coming.
No, they'll just push us. So I whacked the microphone there.
You're fine.
Okay. No. If we're just waiting there, eventually they'll push.
They'll just push us at 65, 75 miles per hour as they come through.
Yeah, nice.
That's called a wreck.
That's how we get places.
That's called a wreck, David.
I don't know what you mean.
You don't know what happens when something hits you at 65 miles per hour?
I have seen Thomas the Tank Engine. I know about shunting. They're going to shunt us. Shunt us down the railroads.
I'm sure that they don't do that to carts with people in them.
They got faces on them, John. Down in the freight yard, the mean freight cars, they got faces on them. And because they don't want to be shunted, but we want to be shunted, John.
I don't know. What is this we all of a sudden?
You can bring me into what we do in the shadows. But when I bring up shunting, it's what I want to do. All right, fine, John.
David, if you don't want to be a vampire, you don't have to be a vampire. But honestly, if I was a vampire... I just want to be a little
freight car, John.
If I was a vampire, I wouldn't have a problem with being shunted.
What? That's a weird precedent to set, John.
Because
you don't know what you'd do if you were a vampire.
Because I'd be immortal, David.
Yeah, but you could still get hurt. Well, I'm in favor of shunting. Why am I arguing against it now? Shunting's gonna be fun.
Oh, how the turntables.
We can't have an Office reference on this podcast.
Don't worry, I've never seen The Office.
I mean, our credibility's just plummeted.
Because of the Office reference or because I haven't seen it?
No, because of the reference. I don't care if you've seen The Office, John. Who do you think I am?
David Damari?
No.
Oh.
That was the bit this whole time. You don't know who you're recording with. The podcast episodes have been with a mystery host. I've been wearing one of those masks that they have in Mission Impossible. Take it off. Guess what? It's fucking Tom Cruise. You've been hosting this podcast with Tom Cruise this whole time.
Shit, does that
You're a Scientologist.
I'm a Scientologist. Oh no.
Could I have made you believe that if I committed to it? Because if so, you should have told me ahead of time. No. I didn't know how hard to sell it.
I think you're good. I don't think that one would have worked.
You don't think I could have convinced you that I was actually Tom Cruise wearing a mask these entire 2 years of this podcast?
No, I don't think so.
Is it 2 years? We started 2019, right?
I think we started December 2018.
Oh.
But that's still technically 2 years, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So. Anyway, we're talking about a comedy special.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sloss X.
I don't know what this bit you're doing is, John.
It's Daniel Sloss X.
Oh, you're adding an X.
Sloss? Slosh. So
no,
it's
Daniel
Sloss.
I don't know what's going on now.
No, I am adding an X. I'm just trying to decide how it sounds with an X at the end. Anyway,
that was bad, John.
Boo. Look, I leave the comedy to you. I'm just here for the awkward chuckles. Now you're taking my awkward chuckles, David.
I'm monopolizing this podcast.
You're going to absorb me and become the both hosts, David.
Soon I'm just going to be pretending to be having a podcast by myself in an alley. Someone will walk by and I'll say, no, I'm not crazy. It's a bit. Like, This is a joke. You're weird. Quit staring. Haven't you ever seen a guy pretending to have a podcast in an alley before?
There's not a lot of difference between having a podcast and pretending to have a podcast, David. Let's be honest here.
I know. We never talk to our adoring audience, our millions of fans.
Our fans who go by...
Ooh, do we need a name for our fans?
I'm trying to decide whether the thing that popped into my head is offensive or not. We're going to go with yes and not say it.
Oh. That's what we're going to call them. Well, it'll just be censored. It'll be like an Arrested Development when Job says bad things about Lucille Bluth, and it's just like 10 seconds of censored stuff. I'm not Job. I'm an idiot. Buster. Wow, my credibility's gone down now.
There's always credibility in the banana stand.
Boo!
I've only seen like 2 episodes of that show.
You know about the banana stand, though.
But that's like in the very first episodes of the season.
You know about the money. You know where to find it.
I do know where to find it.
In case you come upon hard times.
Yeah.
Anyway, Daniel Sloss.
What about him, David?
Turns out, funny guy. I went in, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if this guy knows jokes. Maybe he'll give a little knock-knock joke, but I don't know if he can like do that for an hour and a half. Turns out
this guy knows jokes.
He's heard at least several jokes.
That's good. I'm proud of him, honestly, you know?
I think there should be stand-up specials where it's just some person repeating jokes that they've heard. They'll be like, oh yeah, my dad told me this one. And then...
So someone told me about this guy who goes and does stand-up and doesn't tell jokes. They just talk in the manner and like tone of a joke. So they'll just say random stuff in like the right like pitch and like pauses and stuff to initiate laughter. And it's so weird that people are always laughing, even though it just makes no sense at all. And I would love to do that, but I don't want to steal that person's joke, and I would be terrible at it.
Why are you calling out my stand-up, John? I do have jokes.
I haven't seen your stand-up,
Someone
David.
told me about this guy. He doesn't have jokes. He just talks weird.
He just talks weird. If I had seen your stand-up, David, I'd be much better at roasting you.
That's why you never will.
Oh, damn it. Jinxed it.
What if that was a bit? I've never actually
done stand-up. You're just telling me about all of your stand-up experiences, just making it up on the spot.
Yeah. It's a long-form improv comedy bit that I've been doing for years.
Getting Zion and Meredith to lie. Not Meredith. But did I just call Miriam Meredith? I'm a fucking idiot.
I was wondering who Meredith was. I thought maybe she'd seen one of my shows. Or pretended to have seen one of my shows.
No, I'm just an idiot. I added Heidi with the D and Miriam, and I don't know where the th came from. So
it was just a little bit of rogue.
Just a little, yeah. It just slipped right in there. A little slurry, little. The number of visual comedy gags you do on this podcast is...
I realized that a lot of my sense of humor is visual.
Which is why I was like, we originally planning to film the podcast. Like the very first episode we did, I brought a camera.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 episodes with video.
Simultaneously, I hate being seen, but a lot of my jokes don't work unless I am seen.
You know, I understand.
It's a conundrum.
It sounds like just an awful burden to bear.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a real struggle being me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So Daniel Sloss.
Daniel Sloss. Someone told him some jokes. He went up there. He said them. Good on him, honestly.
That's not even a lie.
That someone, you think someone came up with these and then he went in and did them?
He literally has 3 jokes that someone told him in the stand-up routine. We already talked about that.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, we didn't really talk about what the final portion of the show is about before we talked about it.
I did say it was about sexual assault.
Yeah, but we kind of glossed over it.
Okay, well, do you want to go into more detail about it, David?
Shit, this is going to be... Why did I choose this?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I just thought, I really like this. I want John to see it. I wonder what John thinks.
I liked it. It was good. I don't think it's his best one.
Okay, hang on. Time for David's hot take. The best comedy special, period. I think it's my favorite comedy special.
My favorite like stand-up routines are not hour-long specials. They're all like 13-minute stand-up routines at like bars.
I think there are lots of really good like 5-minute bits that I might put higher, but like as a
full special.
Yeah, I think it's the best.
Interesting.
It's so tight, just like how everything builds upon it, and then he encapsulates it all at the end, you know?
Yeah. I don't know what I would put as my top comedy special. I've definitely not seen as many as you. I don't think it's his best. So
you can't think it's the best, yeah.
Given that, I can't think it's the best. One of his other ones might be, though. I did like Dark.
You didn't like Jigsaw as much as Dark, though. Where would you put Jigsaw in relation to X?
I don't remember anything about it.
It's the one where he's like, lots of you are pretending to be in love because you're scared.
I don't remember anything about it, even with that.
I was going to jog your memory. What does jog your memory mean? Time for another tangent.
No, that didn't jog my memory at all. And also, I have no fucking clue.
How do you jog memory?
Like, it's exercise. Exercise your brain.
Oh, it could be anything, though. We're gonna elliptical this memory.
Yeah.
We're gonna
treadmill.
Lift some weights out of this memory.
Sure.
We're gonna row this memory.
We're gonna pull-ups this memory.
I'm just saying that. Why did they choose jog?
Well, it sounds the best out of the ones you've offered.
I think we could row this memory, you know?
Sure.
Then it sounds like you're remembering rowing, though.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, jog your memory, without the context that we have for it, could be like, oh, remember that one time we jogged? Weird.
Why did we do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh.
I don't remember jogging.
Did we do that? I don't remember doing that ever.
You want to go jogging sometime, John?
No.
Fine. To be honest, I'm a little bit hurt.
We can go for a walk, David. We've done that on multiple occasions.
All right, how about we go for a walk, but then we pick up the pace a little bit. What do you know? We're jogging. Wow. How did we get there?
I have no idea. You know what? Not so bad.
We're not going to run, though.
No. Fuck no.
Okay, where's the line between jogging and running? Is there like a speed, like an MPH that you have to cross when you're and to put you into a run?
I think it's a difference of posture, isn't it?
Oh, so like people who slouch are joggers?
No. Like when you're running, you're like, I don't know, like leaning forward a bit more to go faster. I don't know how to run. What do I look like? A runner?
Okay, well, if it's a difference of postures, then like what makes an animal run, you know? How can we be sure that it's not jogging? Because they don't have the same anatomy as us.
Have you ever seen a video of a cat like lifting it, like doing high legs?
Uh-huh. Was that a jogging cat?
I feel like that's what a jogging cat looks like.
Okay, well, like, you never watching a documentary with David Attenborough, and he's like, look at this gazelle jogging down the plains.
I feel like I've heard like a narrator of a documentary be like they're going for I'm losing the word, but like a dainty jog. You know, they get into a dainty jog before they sprint, you know, like talking about a cheetah.
I can't imagine David Attenborough saying the word jog.
I can't imagine David Attenborough saying anything right now.
Oh, neither can I.
Yeah, see? What do you know?
What does David Attenborough look like?
An old British man, I assume.
That's not an appearance.
It's not?
No.
I can think of several people that look like old British men.
Yeah, but it could be like Michael Caine or it could be Prince Philip.
Yeah.
Although he's a dead Britishman now.
They both, I mean, they're different ages, but
they look very different.
Not that different. All white people look the same, David.
Hang on. Do you think Stephen Fry?
Who the fuck is that?
You don't know who Stephen Fry is?
No.
All right, hang on. Let me pull up a picture of Stephen Fry. Pause the podcast.
Pause the podcast?
Pause the cast. Pausecast. That's what we're going to start calling the show now. It's going to be called Pausecast. Not a PAWS. That would be bad. We talk about like animals or something.
I'm sure that already exists.
Pausecast.
Honestly. The Pausecast.
I'll look it up. We'll see.
Or at least the Pawcast.
This guy.
Yeah, what about him?
Stephen Fry, right?
Okay. Stefan Fry.
That's not his name.
I'm just joking. Continue.
Well, I didn't take it as a joke. I took that very personally.
I'm sorry. I apologize, David.
Yeah, you better. Anyway, you think Stephen Fry
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah.
Michael Caine?
Yeah.
No.
I was expecting you to say someone completely different, but you said Michael Caine, and yes.
Michael Caine is my standard Britishman.
They both look like old British men. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, they are old British men, but I'm saying that's not an appearance.
But it is, though. They look like old British men.
Okay, hang on. Think of another old British guy. Surely there.
Wait, do you still have Stephen Fry up on your phone?
No, not anymore.
All right, pull him back up for a second.
He's a busy guy. Hang on. Oh, this is getting way too visual, this podcast. Yeah. Stephen Fry. Very different.
No. Look at those jowls.
Yeah. Old people everywhere have jowls, John.
Exactly.
I'm saying.
They look like old British men. I don't know what you want from me, David.
Do you think all old people look the same?
A little.
What is, okay, other than being old and white, what do they have in common?
They're British.
British isn't an appearance, John. Anyway, Daniel Sloss.
Do you have anything more to say specifically about the stand-up
Old people?
routine?
Oh.
No, I was going to say about specifically about the routine, or should we rate it? At
Other
this
than
point?
that, I think it's amazing. I think it's really good. He's a very funny person. What can I say? Despite this being a horrible idea, I think this is one of our best episodes.
It's one of the best ones in a long while. We definitely had a good time here.
I think we started strong and we just kept the momentum going this whole way through. This has been a great bit. It would be wonderful if someone heard this, but too bad these microphones aren't on.
It's too bad we weren't recording this for posterity.
Did I get you that time? Did you think that I didn't?
No,
that I didn't know?
No, it's too late for that now, David.
Just so upset that you didn't tell me earlier. Okay. Anyway, Daniel Sloss.
So are we going to rate it?
Sure, we'll rate it.
Sure.
So we got our rating system.
0's don't watch. 1's watch it if you want to, but whatever. And 2 is definitely watch it. Definitely recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it a 2. I definitely think people should watch it. I think it's good. I think it's a good message. And I think it's very funny.
Yeah, 2. Wow, a perfect score.
Only one other thing has that.
Bazinga.
Wait. Did we give Homeless for the Holidays a perfect score?
I don't remember. I think it might have been a 3.
Okay, I thought it was, but then I second guessed myself. Okay, cool.
So
anyway, back on to more important topics.
Oh, we're gonna continue talking about the numerous things about are very important.
I don't know. I just figured it seemed like you were gonna keep talking, so I was gonna let you. I just figured we should get the rating out of the way, you know.
Okay, yeah. But then I can't keep doing the bit where I go, anyway, Daniel Sloss. I can't keep going. I guess I can.
I mean, if you want to go back to Daniel Sloss.
Oh, but no, I was saying earlier that I think that there should be stand-up specials where it's just people repeating jokes
that they've heard.
And not even, it could be like from another comedian. You can go and be that person who like kind of recaps a joke, but it doesn't have any of the like finesse to it. And where he goes, you can just go up there and be like, hot pocket. And everyone's like, I know what you're talking about.
Man, Hot Pockets, they don't really work in the microwave, do they? Funny. Burned my mouth on one once. Anyway.
You can go up there and be like, I saw this John Mulaney bit, and he could have killed Princess Diana because he was a child. Audience goes wild.
I mean, that is kind of what TikTok is, if you think about it. People go on TikTok and they're just like, I was on the bench. I was on the bench. I was on the bench. I was over on the bench. And everyone goes, ha ha, John Mulaney, I know him.
Uh-huh. Exactly. I think a full hour of that. Just repeat his special.
but worse, less, and in more time.
Yes. Netflix, hit me up. I'll start practicing. Or better yet, I won't. Because that's the point.
Don't even like prepare anything.
That would be so good though. My God. I'd watch the shit out of that.
That'd be so fucking funny.
Imagine going to an open mic and being like, anyway, so I watched the special the other night, and just being the person that repeats jokes from someone else's special to you.
No, just go to an open mic and repeat the jokes that the other people just did before you.
Do the person in front of you. That would be so funny. I think someone would get fucking pissed.
You'd have to make sure that if you did it at an open mic, you'd have to make sure the person going in front of you knew and was okay with you doing it.
I'd feel bad though, because it would be funnier if you hear the same jokes knowing that the person in front of you's done it. That would be so good. This is a great idea. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start going to open mics and being like, hey, can I steal your bit word for word? And they'll go, what? And then I'll go like, I didn't write anything this week. I just... I was busy and I still undercome, so I figured I could just go participate.
I just figured it. You already did the homework, so just let me copy.
I was like, I'll go up. They won't have remembered it. It wasn't that good.
But it has to be the person directly in front of you.
That would be so good. Man, it's good that we kept talking.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. So nobody steal that.
Don't.
Unless you're Netflix, then hit David up.
Yeah, hit me up. I will repeat any comedian special. Just talk to me. I'll repeat it word for word. We'll give it a new name. And then people will get on Netflix. They'll be like, who's this new comedian? He's got like 5 specials already. He must write quickly.
So if you want to get in contact with David for this, you can email the email that is associated with our RSS feed for the podcast. It is my email, but I will let David know immediately. Or you can hit David up.
You better not steal the contract if they send it to you.
Or you can hit David up on Twitter directly.
Yeah, you can hit me up on Twitter. It's the one with the killer's thong.
Yeah.
You'll find it if you search that. I didn't know Netflix listened to our podcast.
I mean, they got it.
I guess within the bit they do. They're avid listeners. Mr. Netflix and his family.
They're one of our millions of listeners, David. Our listeners that go by.
Our podcast is on Netflix.
Duh. That's why we call our listeners the, Goodbye.
Our Netflix and children. Because they're like our children, but they're adults, so it's okay to fuck them.
Netflix and children, more like would fuck.
I realize that sounds like I support incest. I do not. If your kids are adults, it's okay to fuck them if you want.
Damn. I think that's it. I think we've come to an end here.
Oh, I can go back to my sarcophagus and not speak for a month. I don't do vampiric things, but I do that.
Yeah.
Doo-doo. I hope our audience liked this episode because I made John laugh so hard.
I fucking loved this episode.
I think I killed it. Anyway, bye.
Bye.